Hey, what's up everybody? This is VGC Extended. I'm D-Man, and I've got 3 special guests. I've got JD, I got Paul, and I got Pebbles. Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
So a 4-man commentary today, and it's because we're doing a very special game. It's from a very special movie. John, would you like to talk to us about this game?
Came out in 1985. Back to the Future.
Back to the Future, folks. I mean, this was the first Back to the Future game that came out as a video game. Back to the Future was one of the most loved, famous movies. It just celebrated its recent 30th? 30th?
Yeah, 30th.
Yeah, because it just passed November 15th, 2000. Or November 21st, 2015. October 21st,
And would you guys say it did predict a lot of things, like a new hoverboard that came out? But
it had some predictions, like
3D movies.
Yeah,
I'll give them that.
Yeah,
you know.
I would say the hoverboard did come
Video
out.
chat.
Yeah, the hoverboard did come out, but it wasn't as expected.
Cubs almost won the World Series.
That's a good point.
They almost made it to the World Series. You can say. I mean, they were almost there, but I mean that was one. I think that was like one heartbreak things that happened. So Nintendo came out with Back to the Future, made by Universal City Studios. That was the developer. It was brought out in 1985. We're going to see just Back to the Future fans out there. We're just going to see. It looks like here's the map of Hill Valley. It looks like we're going to be Marty McFly, and it looks like we got to go through so many different levels. The streets path to get to each destination there. It looks like a cafe, a school, a dance hall, and it looks like the clock tower. Mm-hmm. So I guess we're going to go through level 1. Level 1, it just shows Marty McFly on a neighborhood street, and as you can see below, you see a picture of his parents and himself. And what you have to see here, guys, is that there's these clocks, and you have to get as many of these clocks as possible. And then there's a bowling ball. You have that's considered a weapon, and that is just to try to block some of the obstacles. The one thing I hate about this game the most is the bees. There are these bees that like to buzz at you, and as you get further and further into the game, all of a sudden, boom, you get stopped. It's kind of like Rad Racer, Paul, where like if you get stopped, the picture there is like your time. If you see how his mother, Lorraine, is disappearing.
Yeah.
If you don't get as many of these clocks as possible to keep the parents' picture intact, and if all three of them disappear in that picture, Marty McFly dies.
Now, isn't there a much more of a challenge to this game than the others?
Biggest challenge is trying to get through from one end of the street to the other and try not to hit any of these obstacles. You got these bees here that like to buzz around. You get not just one, but you get like almost 3 of them, as you saw. You get a bowling ball. So now we're at the street. It looks like we just completed level 1, and we got a bonus of 13. So now it looks like we're going to level 2, which is another street path right there. And now we've got the bowling ball as a weapon. If we can hang on to the bowling ball, there's another key important weapon that will help us get through this, and it's a skateboard. So we have to keep a close eye out on a skateboard, and it can come up anywhere.
You know what this game does remind you of, though? The old NES game, Paperboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
There's the skateboard, guys. So now Marty McFly can move a lot faster through the game, and it makes it easier because the bees. But as you can see, I've got all these obstacles adding me. So you have the skateboard, you have the bowling ball, and you can try to get as many clocks. The faster you get through the street, the better, because I just got hit right there, so now I have to start all over again.
But don't skateboard.
The difference between this and Paperboy is that Paperboy, you have to start back at the beginning, or I think you start off where you left off where you got killed, but it looks like we were able to get through level 2. The skateboard really helps you get through the levels faster.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, it does.
And it saves your time with your parents, and so far his mother down below is already starting to disappear, so we have to build up on the clocks.
I thought that was his sister.
No, that's his mom and dad in the picture.
Oh,
that was what the book says, because he did have a sister and a brother in the photo in the movie, but in this game it's his mom and dad, which is interesting because in Back to the Future he goes back to when his mom and dad are kids. So, but what do you guys think so far? I mean, how about you, Paul?
It's got some good gameplay. It does have that Paperboy feel to it.
It does.
But which brings us back to you know, us just being kids, you know, we love that game, Paperboy.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, like on a Saturday afternoon, you know, you're like, oh man, all Saturday morning cartoons are over, and then all of a sudden you got this movie playing on TV.
Yeah.
Which was like, oh man, they just got even better.
There's the skateboard.
Yeah.
There we go.
Ah.
Got hit.
What's
That's
interesting
the
about this game is it does. You would expect like a lot of the characters to be in this game from the movie, but there's some interesting obstacles right here.
Well, if you notice now, Marty's mother has disappeared on the picture, which is a big blow. Because if we lose all three, he loses his life, and we only have 3 lives in the game. And
So the 3 lives are him and his parents.
no, I mean if you lose the pitcher 3 times, you have 3 lives.
I see.
So it's like if you lose the whole pitcher, he dies because he disappears.
Yeah.
It means he doesn't exist.
Do you start back over at the very beginning, or
No,
right where you left off?
Right where you left. Well, in the level, like this is level 4, I believe we're in right now. If we were to die in this one, we would have to start at the beginning of level 4. So at least we don't have to go back to level 1, which is a good thing. Like some games we know, you have to start back at the very beginning. Paperboy was actually like that one time, where if you completely died, you had to start at the beginning.
So, okay.
Now this game also, when you get the skateboard,
Oh, looks like we got his mother back on the picture.
when you get a skateboard, it the entire screen itself or the game itself like moves faster, it seems, doesn't it?
Yeah. Plus, there's a countdown clock too. If you notice on the right side of the screen, is
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I see the little...
It's getting harder, as you notice, as we're advancing more levels. There's more obstacles in the way. These people out in the street are throwing look like flowers or something. And you got more bees out there, and it's just really
Oil slicks and all
yeah.
that.
And you're trying to avoid getting stopped like that because your clock is moving really fast. We need the skateboard really bad in this. If we don't have the skateboard, we got to get the bowling ball first. There's the bowling ball. So now we can get rid of obstacles. Oh, good. Looks like and see, I just died because the time ran out.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So now we have to start back at the beginning of level 4, which really is dragging. We have 3 lives.
So basically, once you run out of time...
Yeah. So you could die 2 ways. Parents disappear in the picture, or you run out of time. So, so the goal is try to not have as many try not to get stopped by many distractions. So the bees are... I hate the bees the most because the bees, they buzz. They don't just buzz by you and disappear. They like to circle around and go after you again, and that really annoys me a lot.
Until they get you is the thing.
Yeah.
Basically, you just kind of have to outrun them. You just have to wait for them to hit the bottom of the screen, basically.
Yeah. And then you can't... It's hard when the bowling ball pops up in the worst places. And the skateboard can do the same
Something
thing.
I did notice about that clock timer down below, if you get under 100 seconds, it does move a lot faster.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right on that.
So if you really notice it, you really have to book it to get through this thing.
Yeah. And booking it is the key word, but it's not easy when you don't have a skateboard.
Well, it looks like we got through level 4.
Alright, cool.
So I don't know if if there's another level 5 street or if we're going to the cafe. The cafe is a challenge, and we're at Louis Cafe. This is really tough because in the cafe there's all these Marty McFly's behind a counter, and then all these bullies come at you, and you have to throw looks like some sort of mug at them, and it just gets faster.
Oh, so it looks like a milkshake.
Yeah, in a way. So, and the goal is you need to get over 50. You need to hit at least over 50 bullies. You can get through it. If you don't, then you go back. Oh, see, I only got 5. So now the bully takes Marty McFly, shoots him up to the wall. And then we get to go back to level 4 and play level 4 all over again. And then try to pass. We got to pass Louis Cafe. So now we go right back to where we were. And we have to get through level...
Oh wow, you go back to
level
that
4.
street.
And then apparently you just lost another life.
Yeah. So it's like...
That's weird though.
Yeah. And it's just, you're just sitting here just trying to have to go through this whole obstacle again. And all Marty has is a bowling ball right now as a weapon.
And you get to use it only once.
No, you can use it multiple times.
Okay.
I mean, it's like a gun. But if you get stopped, you lose the bowling ball. So right now, I just lost the bowling ball because I hit that barrel. So it can become very frustrating But, you know, it's just the bees right here are what really drive me nuts. You know, so you got to be very careful. Like, I can't get that bowling ball because it's in the way of that bench. So I will guarantee hit the bench, like I showed it earlier when we played this level. But now we just got to get through this level, and we got to get over to Louis' Cafe, and we got to defeat the bullies in order to move on. And then we're going to move on to a different streets, you know. So,
basically, yeah, you got to get rid of Biff Tanner's little
game.
Yeah.
Much. So, you know, looks like we got through the streets. So now we get to go back to Louis' Cafe. And let's hope that there's 100 bullies we have to knock. If we can at least get 50 of them knocked down, then we can move on to the next level. So, let's see what happens, guys. So, here we are at Louis' Cafe.
Alright.
You know,
It doesn't have a counter of how many bullies you've taken out.
Yeah,
No, it's the upper right corner.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, there we go.
yeah,
Okay, so it's right there. I didn't see that.
yeah, you guys go ahead. I'm going to focus on this, but it's going to get much tougher.
I'm assuming the bully is going to come a little bit faster.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes you can just, like, if you have time, start throwing some ahead of time because you might be able to knock 2 birds with 1 stone. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, like you just did right there.
And right there.
oh, shoot. Now I only got 16. It really gets really, really hard. I mean, it's just...
But what I don't get is, when you're here, and you lose that part, then you get pushed back to level 4.
It's kind of like a bonus level.
Interesting.
Yeah. So now we're having to go right back to level 4, and we just have we have 1 life left, and basically we just got to get through this. At least Marty still has his parents in his picture there, but it's just we just have to keep getting ourselves through this until we can pass that cafe. If we don't pass that cafe, you're kind of stuck, you know. And
yeah, this is pretty much where the game becomes repetitive.
Yeah.
So, but you know, that's basically what we have to just keep doing is just keep playing it, and you know, we just got to try to get through it. But it does really challenge you. It does challenge. Just to show people that some of the NES games were very challenging, just like Atari games were challenging. They looked pretty easy, but you know. But yeah, I mean, we're just gonna sit here and keep playing this.
See, kids nowadays, the ones that are like that play the modern games, how, you know how they have to have like, you know how they change like difficulty levels?
Yeah. This was...
I mean, there was no such thing back then.
No.
It was pretty much, this is what you got, this is what you're going to get.
This is an epitome of an example of the epitome of how our lives are more challenging back then. Like, we didn't have sensors on TVs or video games like they have now.
No, they had an EB rating.
But no one really paid attention to it versus now.
Yeah, that's true.
Most of these games are really simple, not really gory or anything. So I mean, you know, it's really much to be worried about. So
yeah, not a whole lot of monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, you couldn't really tell what was going on sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, that was close. Oh, you're almost there. Wow.
30. That's still not enough. We got to get over 50.
That girl, what does she do?
She's just a waitress.
Oh.
You can actually throw a mug at her and it goes on her tray, which is very
Oh,
interesting.
funny.
You know, so I mean, this is something that we have to further deeper try to get into playing because, as you can see, just trying to get through the first part of Louis' Cafe is actually pretty challenging.
Now, Demon, do you remember the
Looks like
rating
we
of
just
this?
lost all our lives, guys. Tough luck. Looks like we're stuck here. The first best we could play on Back to the Future. I mean, in a way, guys, I feel a little disappointed because it really doesn't follow too much of the movie.
No, it does not.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
It does to a certain extent, as in, you know, him arriving first in 1955,
Right.
and him going to the little cafe, little diner. After that,
Kind of wanes.
yeah,
So,
it veers off a little, and it gets a little funny, and then it comes back.
Well, it does have the one about him disappearing. So.
Yeah.
It does show like the picture of the disappearing, because in the movie, the first one, his brothers and sisters were slowly disappearing.
Yeah.
Because his parents were not in love with each other. Mother was in love with Marty. So that was what's very interesting. But
and the funny thing is, back in then, the fact that she looked at his underwear and called him Calvin Klein was kind of hilarious.
Right.
Yeah, that was very hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, guys, so we're gonna eventually continue on doing further segments on Back to the Future and try to get further in. But as you can see, just try getting through on today's segment, it's really hard just to get through Lewis Cafe. If it's hard to get through that part, I can imagine with the school, the dance hall, the clock tower would be. It's probably going to get even more challenging.
I'm assuming the clock tower. I'm guessing you're going to be driving the DeLorean. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I think you do in the final level with the clock tower. You're driving the DeLorean, you have lightning bolts sitting at you and stuff. But I guess we could talk that in a later segment when we get to that far. But anyway, folks, this has been a great chance to see what it was like to play Back to the Future for the Nintendo NES. And, so this is VGC Extended. We want to we all want to thank you for your support and for watching our videos. Make sure to subscribe. Anything else, JD?
Hit that like button, comment below.
And subscribe.
So, anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this week's segment. And we will see you next week when we discuss more retro games.